From KSAT12, the news at noon starts right now.
It took nearly a half a year, but San Antonio police believe that they have caught up with a knife-wielding killer.
They've arrested a suspect in the stabbing death of a woman back in May. And as Katrina Weber tells us, police say a witness's words and surveillance video helped them solve the case.
Early on the morning of May 22nd, San Antonio police were at the beginning of their investigation. They knew they had a woman, now identified as 35-year-old Amanda Newton, dead from a stab wound in her neck in the 1600 block of Jackson Keller. They also knew she didn't stab herself. Now they believe they know who did. They arrested 34-year-old Whitney Caraway yesterday and charged her with murder. A neighbor spoke to us anonymously at the time of the murder and told us she heard two women having a loud argument.
And next thing you know, all of a sudden they just start fighting. And you can hear those hits like really fast, really bad.
The affidavit says a different witness helped them crack the case. It says that unnamed man gave them the names of both women and identified Caraway in a photo lineup. According to the affidavit, police not only had the witness's statement, but also video of what happened here. They say both seem to tell the same story. The court document shows police wrapped up their investigation and got a warrant for Caraway's arrest last Thursday. She was booked into jail last night. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
New details this noon concerning South Texas Representative Henry Cuellar. He is in good spirits after a carjacking in Washington, D.C., where three armed men held him at gunpoint.
While speaking publicly about this incident for the very first time, Cuellar said he was on his way home last night when he was parking his car and gunmen approached him.
Three guys came out of nowhere and they pointed guns at me. I do have a black belt, but I recognize when you got three guns. I looked at one with a gun, another with a gun, a third one behind me. So they said they wanted my car. I said, sure, you got to keep calm in those situations. And then they took off.
Representative Cuellar says police were able to find all of his belongings, including his car and his phone, but not his dinner that he was taking home. He says he does not believe he was targeted as a member of Congress, but so far officers have not made any arrests.
Let's take you downtown to the courthouse. This morning, a woman charged in a deadly dog attack that killed an elderly man earlier this year, making her first court appearance.
Evelyn Schneider and her husband, Christian Moreno, charged for owning the dogs that killed Ramon Najera. Najera, along with his wife, were brutally attacked by a pack of dogs back in February. The dogs were out in the neighborhood when they attacked the couple who were visiting someone on the street, Deplis Street, that's right off of Highway 90 Couples. The judge asked for Schneider's attorney to talk to her husband's attorney to see if they could agree to try these cases together.
While today was the first court hearing in the case for Schneider, Moreno had his first hearing last week. Both returned to court to check on the status of the defense and the state. That's scheduled to happen later on this month on the 25th. Schneider and Moreno are facing a second-degree charge of dangerous dog attack resulting in death and third-degree charge of injury to the elderly.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. A few puffy clouds out there. Rain on the radar? Not so much.
Not today or late. Yesterday it was a little busier, right? We had some showers, some light rain that came through San Antonio, in fact, late in the day. I think today is a little quieter. We're just going to be looking at partly cloudy skies, maybe a shower or two, and temperatures are going to be warm and humid. But we know what's ahead of us. We got some good news. So only isolated showers today and tomorrow. Thursday's our day. Cold front comes in, showers and storms, a good bet. Then beyond that, much cooler this weekend. We could be looking at temperatures in the 70s, below average weather for the first time in a long time. The forecast is looking nice in that regard. Right now, we've got 85 degrees, dew point is at 70, a very light wind out there. And again, partly cloudy skies here in San Antonio. You go west of town, there is significantly more cloud coverage. 82 in Uvalde, 82 in Carrizo Springs, mostly cloudy there. 86 and partly cloudy in Pleasanton, and quite a bit more sun in places like New Braunfels and Gonzales, where temperatures are closing in on 90 degrees this afternoon. We're not there yet here in San Antonio, but I think we will get there this afternoon with highs in the low 90s. But here is the better news. The chances of rain are going up. 20% today, 30% chance tomorrow, and 70% chance on Thursday, before that cooler air gets here, as we said, over the weekend. We're going to detail that forecast for you and talk about that cold front a little bit more here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. A San Antonio attorney says a St. Mary's law student is using what she's learned in law school to repeatedly target his client. KSAT investigates in court with Melanie Hagner and her ex-boyfriend, Tony Valdez, last month. And although Hagner won a civil judgment against Valdez, she left the courthouse complex in handcuffs after being taken into custody on a theft warrant. Last year, footage showed Hagner reciting portions of the Texas Penal Code while walking a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy through charges he could possibly file on Valdez following a dispute outside of her home. But the Bexar County District Attorney's Office this spring rejected all the charges as KSAT investigates and dug into this massive case with massive flaws.
I don't want to even hear her voice. Just being in court, my neck was getting real stiff. I just get, anxious. My body gets hot, just the sound of her voice, everything she's done to me to this point.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, Hagner verbally lashing out at KSAT's photojournalist. Plus, the records we've uncovered by KSAT showing Hagner is under investigation by the San Antonio police for 2 other incidents.
New this noon, police are trying to track down the driver that hit a man and left him for dead last night. Officers tell us a different driver spotted the victim under a bridge near I-35 in South Laredo. And that's when that person called for help. Emergency crews found the man with severe head trauma. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police think the man was hit by a driver that just kept going, not stopping to help that victim. So far, there is no description of the suspect's car. Crime concerns on the west side leading people to come together to create safer neighborhoods. It's all part of the San Antonio Neighbors Together event happening tonight. Pastor Vincent Robinson is co-chair of the West End Hope in Action neighborhood group. The organization will bring their neighbors together at the Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center from 4 to 8 p.m. tonight. He says it takes just one neighbor to make a difference and hopes that can lead to creating a safer place for everyone.
So if you want to clean up your community, you want to get to know your law enforcement, you want to get to know your neighbor, you got to come out to these events.
Robinson is pastor of Harper's Chapel Baptist Church on Lambrano. He says his goal is to bridge the gap and help anyone who's in need of food and services.
Lamar Elementary parents not going to let their school close without a fight. That's the message the San Antonio ISD got last night at a meeting on the planned closure of 19 schools in the district. Parents telling district officials that even though Lamar's enrollment dropped during COVID, kids are coming back. Parents also believe the school will meet any and all standards in order to stay open. Another meeting will be held later today at Gates Elementary. We have a link to the list of meetings on KSAT.com. Trustees are going to be voting on this school proposal November 13th.
And the Spurs getting busy today with some practice, but they seem to have a good time yesterday at Media Day. More on that coming up.
It's still months away, but one organization is already working on spreading some holiday cheer to service members. And they want to reach out to thousands of people this year, but they need your help. We'll show you how to take part in this campaign. The son of the president, Hunter Biden, also back in court today, this time pleading not guilty to 3 gun charges.
Biden originally had a plea deal with no jail time on the charges, but that fell through when a judge found it too lenient. ABC's Jay O'Brien with why this case may be just the start of more scrutiny.
President Biden's son, Hunter, arriving at a federal courthouse in Delaware this morning, pleading not guilty to felony gun charges. Hunter Biden facing 2 counts of making false statements during the purchase of a firearm and 1 count of illegal gun possession, all tied to his previous history of drug abuse. It comes after a plea deal the younger Biden struck with prosecutors fell apart in July. His attorneys now saying their client is being treated more harshly than other defendants.
What changed? Not the facts, not the law, but all the politics that have now come into play.
These new charges, the first since David Weiss, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney who's been investigating Hunter Biden since 2018, was elevated to special counsel by Attorney General Merrick Garland in August.
Upon considering his request, as well as the extraordinary circumstances relating to this matter, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint him as special counsel.
The new title gives Weiss the power to charge Hunter Biden in any federal jurisdiction and signals the criminal probe into the president's son is far from over.
In addition to the legal proceedings here in Delaware, back on Capitol Hill, House Republicans say that Hunter Biden is a central player in their impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The White House accuses them of playing politics and says that they have no evidence of an unlawful business connection between the president and his son. In Wilmington, Delaware, Jay O'Brien, ABC News.
Outside with Lack, forget about today. Let's get on to Thursday. We're waiting and waiting.
This is requiring a lot of patience.
Yeah, we don't want to speed life up at all, but it would be nice to go ahead and get to Thursday where we can see some rain. And the weekend, man, that's it's going to be awesome. The aquifer did not change today. It's a 6:30 even, still in really bad shape, so some rain would do it some good. And in your pollen count, we have moderate counts of fall elm. That continues to lead the way. Molds, ragweed, and pigweed are all in the low category. We've got an update on that cold front, when it will arrive, and what it means as we head into the weekend. A forecast is coming up.
Holiday cheer in the works for those who serve our country. The nonprofit Soldiers Angels getting Christmas spirit to service members who are far from home.
Tiffany Ware just explains how you can make a big impact with a small personalized ornament.
A lot of people have made it their holiday tradition, so they might get together during Thanksgiving week and stuff the stockings.
If you're looking for a new holiday tradition, the nonprofit Soldiers Angels has you covered.
Our deployed service members may not be able to celebrate the holidays, but being able to give back to them and let them remember that America's thinking about them even during the holiday season while they're away from their families, it's really impactful for them.
The Holiday Stockings for Heroes campaign is happening now. Every year, the organization collects stuffed holiday stockings from people around the world, and they send them to deployed service members and veterans in VA hospitals.
We have a lot of protein items like beef jerky. We have some snack items, a lot of downtime items like little games, crossword puzzles.
To make the stockings even more personal, people can write letters or create handmade holiday ornaments.
We also have a great little holiday themed ornament list that you can take a look at, and you can make your own little DIY ornaments and include that. And that's actually something you can do whether or not you pledge a stocking. So it's a great little project if you want to do a little family project.
Stockings must be sent no later than December 8th. The goal this year is 40,000 stockings, and there is a new way you can participate. The nonprofit created an Amazon registry gift list with some of the most wanted items.
And the way we use those, sometimes we get stockings that maybe aren't full to the brim. So we'll use those items to backfill and make sure that our deployed service members are getting all of the items that they really want.
The special campaign is designed to bring people together to collect the items service members and veterans need. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT12 News.
Already feeling a little bit like Christmas in the weather forecast.
So it won't be hard to decorate those things.
Oh, we're already jumping at Christmas, are we?
So is this one of those where you can stand outside and actually feel it coming in?
Yeah, I think that in some ways you will on Thursday, but I think the bigger the feelings you'll get will be on Saturday with the temperature change. We'll get sort of a secondary push of cooler air, and that's when you'll really start to feel the fall-like weather. Yeah, but the rain on Thursday will be nice too. So let's jump into the forecast here and first start with the radar. There's not a lot to show you today. Yesterday, you remember, we had showers and storms. It's just not setting up that way today. I'm glad that sort of that moisture plume is pushing east a little bit. So I think our forecast is a bit quieter today. I'm not going to completely rule out a shower or storm, but I think our rain chances are lower. We put them at 20%. We are noticing some clouds out west, so mostly cloudy skies. Hondo out towards Del Rio. San Antonio is looking at partly cloudy conditions, but more clouds trying to develop here. We'll see if any of those can bubble up into some showers today. 82 in Kerrville, 89, one of the hot spots in New Braunfels. Same story in Gonzales. Cotulla is the true hot spot there, 90 with 86 right now in Pleasanton. In mid to upper 80s here around San Antonio. I do think we get into the 90s today with the heat indices maybe a little bit higher than that thanks to the humidity. Dew points are in the 70s. That air is thick, and I don't anticipate these numbers coming down much today. So know that it will be a fairly humid day today and tomorrow. but we know what's ahead, and it's good news. So we get that front through on Friday. That brings down humidity a little bit. Then we get that secondary push going into Saturday, and that really brings dew points down into the 40s. I can't remember the last time we had dew points in the 40s. You got to go way back, likely into the spring before that, when we saw something like this. So there are some good changes headed our way, and it's all due to this big spin here you see on water vapor. That's the area of low pressure that's going to help to drive this front through, and it is starting to make some headway off to the east now, and you can kind of see the storms that are developing out ahead of it, at least to our north. Now, by the time the front gets down here, there's not as much energy with it, so our rain chances, yes, are good, but I don't think we're going to see just a ton of rain. Looks like the model's kind of backing off of rainfall totals. I still think rain chances are really good, and we'll certainly get some pockets of heavy rain. We just aren't going to see huge totals. I don't anticipate flooding being a big problem. So let's fast forward now to Thursday at 7 a.m. And we've got showers and storms developing out ahead of the front, which is now starting to progress towards San Antonio. And by 10 a.m., you got storms that have developed along the front. May see some good storms, especially east of San Antonio. And then by midday into, say, 1, 2 o'clock, we've still got storms out ahead of the front and maybe even a little bit behind the front before it all kind of pushes south late in the day on Thursday. And I still think we could see some rain even Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So again, Thursday is our day that we're going to be watching. 70% chance of rain. Again, there will be some localized heavy rain in spots. Otherwise, just some small chances next couple days and still warm. We start to see the temperatures come down a little bit. Friday, 85, just a 20% chance of rain. And then we get that secondary push of drier, cooler air. You combine that with cloud cover, and I think we're going to see plenty of it this weekend. And that really keeps temperatures in check. Low humidity, highs in the 70s. That's as much as we could ask for right now. So the weekend will be awesome. And if we can get some rain on Thursday, which I think we will, it's all good. This is a good looking forecast and great to finally see some changes, guys.
Yes, finally. Thank you.
Hey, the Cowboys defense flexed a little muscle this last weekend. They're going to need more of that muscle this coming Sunday. And a huge playoff type matchup for big game coverage on Friday night. Hey, a lot of smiles and a lot of tension on the Spurs as their second-year guard, Malachi Branham, one of those. Look at that smile on his face. He's happy. His Spurs season is just about ready to start. Of course, Jeremy Sohan and his tattoos grab a lot of attention as well. Now, he gets attention on and off the court. And, of course, the center of attention was rookie and overall #1 pick Victor Wembanyama. He's bringing a lot of attention to the Spurs, and that means a lot of attention to his teammates, and that is going to be a good thing. Devin Vassell, one of those Spurs, getting a lot of that attention. One of the top players for the Spurs, one of the top players in the entire NBA. He has been rewarded with a 5-year, $146 million contract extension. He's only 23. He's increased his scoring average by more than 6 points per game in each of his first 3 NBA seasons.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
And the Dallas Cowboys defense got its swagger back in their 38-3 drumming of the New England Patriots. That happened on Sunday afternoon in Arlington. Second quarter, the boys caused Pats quarterback Mac Jones to fumble. Linebacker Leighton Vander Esch scooped it up and scored. And then, with less than a minute left in the first half, Deron Bland intercepted Jones. He went back 54 yards with that pick. Another Cowboys defensive score. Jones out of the game early, and he never recovered from that.
Oh, for sure. Anytime you get a guy out of his rhythm and feel like he just can't get going, it's always some right things going on. So, New England's a great team. I'm glad we was able to just bounce back and just get this train rolling because we got a tough team next week.
Now, he got stepped on. He looked like he was hurt a little bit there on Sunday, but he's going to be ready for this one. They're going to give us the 4-0 49ers, who beat the Cardinals 35-16 on Sunday. Hey, the 4-1 Jefferson Mustangs are off to their best start in 62 years. And this week, they'll be taking on the Alamo Heights Mules. It's a District 14-5A2 matchup. Jeff coming off back-to-back wins, improving to 3-1 in District. The Mighty Mules are 5-0 overall and 4-0 in District. Jeff knows they're going to have their hands full, but that team is looking forward to the challenge.
A very good team, they have a lot of very good players, but we have some good players too, so I feel like we can compete.
They're a very good team. They have good program, good coaches, good players. Very good players.
Yes, they have a lot of star athletes, and as Austin said, yes, we have athletes as well, and we're going to come out hard, and they have a great coaching staff, and yes.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. It's Jefferson and Alamo Heights. That's our game of the week, Friday night, 7 o'clock from Orem Stadium. Good luck to both teams. It'll be a
Good luck to them both.
good matchup.
All right, if you sold a concert ticket this year, it could affect your taxes. Details on the updated rule and how it could, in fact, impact your finances.